I spent 25 years researching why some men live to 110 or 120. Everyone thinks it's genetic. They think these people have special genes to live to 110 or 120, but I found that's not true. I found that all these men who are 100, 110, or 120, all of them are eating this one food. Grigoras Tahas. He's drinking wine, he's having fun with friends, he walks 2 hilly miles a day in his native Greece. He's eating this one food. He's 110. Stanislav Kowalski. He starts jogging at the age of 104. He's eating this one food now. He's 110. He's running marathons. Arturo Licata from Italy. He loves pasta with ricotta cheese. He has a wonderful life. He eats this one food. He's going to be turning 112. Swami Svivananda. He sleeps on a board on a mat. He takes trains by himself. He is proven that he's 125, and he's eating this one food. Haj Musa from Turkey. He celebrates life every day. His wife's 110. They love each other so much. He and she eat this one food. He's said to be 130 years old. So why aren't we all eating this one food if it's so great? It's because the so-called experts tell us to avoid this one food. Remember Euell Gibbons, the guy that was on TV all those years ago? He was made famous by the cereal ads, right? Gibbons avoided this one food, and he passed at an age of 64. Nathan Pritikin, he was one of the greatest food gurus of all time. He avoided this one food, lived to age 69. And then there's Dr. Robert Atkins. He was the author of the all-time best-selling diet book. Passes, sadly, at the age of 72. So, who would you rather copy? Men like 110-year-old Grigoras Tahas, 125-year-old Swami Sivananda, 130-year-old Haji Musa, or these men who expired young despite their being the supposed experts? My name is Matt Cook. I'm an Amazon best-selling author, and recently I was interviewed by ABC News. When I discovered this one food, and all these men that I was studying, living to 100, 110, or 120, I spent years figuring it all out, researching things, traveling around the world, and discovering what it was about this one superfood that keeps men so healthy and living such a long life. I found along the way that these men do things completely differently than anyone else. So I'm eating this one food now. I'm following everything they say, and I am hoping that I live to 120, and I think that I will. So I have these notes, these discoveries, years and years and years of research. I'm talking to my wife, Jody. She says, why don't you put that into a book and share your notes? So I spent a long time putting them all into a book I call Healthy to 120. I had a small number of copies printed out, and I'm going to mail one to your house. Go ahead, click on the link to claim your free copy. All you have to do is just help me out with shipping. That's it. Let me just tell you the discoveries that I've made and how I've adapted this one food in a lot of different areas of health. Listen closely. Blood sugar. Blood sugar is super, super important. I discovered that these very, very old men have perfect blood sugar. Mine was high, so I started doing what they're doing. I adjusted a little bit, like a tweak in how I have breakfast now. And my blood sugar is like 80, 85, 90 when I wake up every day, which is really good. I put that on page 276. Then there's fitness and exercise. None of these men work out in a gym, but they're super fit. I wanted to be fit. So what I did is I looked at what they do to stay active, and I found like a 10-minute routine, an activity I do every day, and I'm really fit, and I don't have to worry about setting foot in the gym. That's on page 316. Prostate health is key to men. Without it, we're sunk. These men have no pee problems, and I was having those problems. So I looked at what they do and their diet and all these sort of things, and I came up with this, I'll just call it a tapping, 90-second tapping thing, keeping my prostate great. No more pee problems. Instead of getting up 3 times a night, I don't get up at all. My wife Jody gets to sleep, and we're much happier this way. Page 101. So let's take cholesterol. You know how a lot of guys worry so much about cholesterol? Well, these men virtually all have perfect cholesterol, and I think it's because their metabolic rate is high, and when your metabolic rate is high, you have good, normal cholesterol. So I figured out a way to maintain my metabolic rate. My cholesterol numbers are outstanding. My doctor said, you don't need to take anything. I don't know what you're doing, just keep doing it. I put that on page 162. So let's talk about weight. None of these men are fat, but none of them are on a diet either. They're eating the one food, remember. And I did a little bit of tweaking with the one food, and I was able to lose 38 pounds. I went from about 225 to 188. And I show you exactly what I did. No counting calories, no skipping meals, nothing like that. Super, super easy. I put that on page 250. Blood pressure is another thing. Now, blood pressure is something we don't think about. These long-lived men all have great blood pressure. I found that living at high altitude in the mountains, in the hills, helps blood pressure. But I came up with a very simple way, since I'm living on the flatlands, to have good blood pressure. Mine's 120 120 over 80 now using an oxygen method that simulates altitude. It's real easy. It's got my blood pressure great and helped lots of other people. And I put that on page 139. So you can buy my book, Health Through 120, on Amazon for $29.95, or let me send it to you without charge. I'll just ask you if you can to help me out with the shipping. That would be super, super. Go ahead, click on the link, claim your copy right now. I have a limited number printed. Thank you so much for listening, for staying with me. God bless you and your family. I hope He is shining His light and His love on you. And as I like to tell everyone I meet, I'll see you at 120.